Hello and welcome back to another video, and in this one we'll be looking at the real Ghostbusters Ghost Blaster game released in 1988 by Systema. As with most videos, we'll have a look at the condition of the unit and then we'll demonstrate it working. So this was one of those items where I just saw it as spares and repairs. Wasn't working at all. And it needed new battery contacts putting in. It needed the zebra connectors putting in. The screen had been rebuilt incorrectly so that it wasn't showing any of the imagery, and I also had to put in a small piece of very thin flat plastic on the front to flatten everything down because it had been incorrectly made. So basically like a very thin sacrificial layer that you wouldn't know was there. On top of all that, I've then kind of polished and buffed out the handheld as good as possible. You can see on the front there's a little bit of a scratch there next to the G. Some light scratching here on the glossy parts as you'd expect. And then as we look in at the LCD screen, you can see there's a slight LCD blemish just below the scorecard there, and there's one just over there on the left hand side as well. Moving around to the side, not too much to mention, the light scratching just continues. And then round to the rear, I've replaced the missing screw that holds the cell battery in place. A little bit of a kink in the stand, so that stand's designed really just to do, I mean, I wouldn't imagine you're going to play it like that, but it's actually quite a nice feature that if you use it as a display item, it stands up really well, and it kind of just sits in like that when it's not in use. And top and bottom are just kind of, you know, as per the rest of it. As you can see on the back, it doesn't give us the date, although this is 1988. It just says here, use Varta V13GA or equivalent batteries, do not use mercury batteries. So the modern ones you put in are just the LR44 cell batteries, work absolutely fine. So now that I've done all of that, so Systema, as you can see in the front, Systema, not much information about them online or this handheld. You're really quite limited. I found this one on a website which showed how it had come in this packaging, which is, you know, the packaging's quite nice. Just says the Ghostbuster game, real Ghostbusters electronic entertainment at your fingertips. The premise of the game is quite simple. There's game A, game B. Game B is just a little bit harder, and the aliens come down from the top to the bottom, and you move the Ghostbuster left and right to zap them and rack up your points. The background is kind of a city hall or a library or something generic, and for whatever reason, when you put the batteries in or playing the game, it plays London Bridge is Falling Down, which makes me think that they just kind of already had this kind of unit to one hand. They had a module which played a song, they probably already had the backing, and they kind of just threw it together, managed to get a Ghostbusters deal, and then started. Now when you're in this setting when nothing's happening, you can move between A and B. And one of the things that threw me was every now and then the game would lose sound, and I just could not work out what it was, because it would work when I put the batteries in but not want to play the game. Well, all it is when you're not playing a game and you're in this kind of standby state, you press the right hand button here and you can see at the top the sound icon appearing, disappearing, and I hadn't realized that's what it was, because obviously you're playing the game with these, so that turns the game sound on and off. Once you're ready there, you just hit the start button. It plays the intro, and then you can hear it just goes London Bridge is Falling Down, and you just basically just move your Ghostbuster left and right, zapping them as they come down, and every now and then the Ghostbusters symbol will appear on the right hand side like it does there, and it gives you a few extra points. And all that happens is it just gets faster and faster. So if you press start, it kind of restarts the game, and you can also at this point just switch between A and B. So if I go into B and start and press start, so you can see it's all it is doing is starting at a slightly faster pace. And then to demonstrate what I spoke about, so if you press that, so that almost stops the game, and then you press this before you press start, you'll see that now as I play it, there's There's no sound at all. So again, turn the sound back on, and the sound comes back. So yeah, that's the game there, the real Ghostbusters, Ghost Blaster game, it says on the box, by Systema, released in 1988. I bought this one just as a challenge to get it working because it seemed novel. It's not overly, I wouldn't say it's rare. I mean, there's a handful online. It doesn't go for an awful lot of money, but I just, I wanted the challenge of taking something that was probably going to go into the bin and get it working again. I'm really pleased that this one did. So hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me grow this quite small channel as it is. Other than that, all the best, take care, and see you in the next video.